talk my shit. I got on dick, and she turned around and hit. And I done learned a lot of shit. I had her burn up her brain. I deserve her fridge. I deserve her. I deserve her. I'm like, how we do your motherfucker?
What's up, y'all? This your boy, Mr. I240. I'm back with another episode today in this beautiful, rainy, whatever you want to call this, in my city, Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, most importantly, I want to thank the highly thanks to Lord Jesus Christ. If it weren't for Him, it wouldn't be no me, it wouldn't be no y'all, it wouldn't be no page, it wouldn't be no nothing. Hey, I've been wanting to work on this episode. What we're gonna talk about today for a minute. I worked really hard on it this week, wrote everything down I need to write down, and, stuff that we need to be talked about and stuff like that. Also, we update on the subscribers. We're at 263. We're on the road to 300. So I gotta keep the grind showing. I gotta keep the grind going and give y'all this fire content and keep going, because I really love y'all and I appreciate the love that the page been getting, especially for the true subscribers and the true haters. That's cool, but hey, it's not about that. But most important, if y'all, outside of, of course, the Lord Jesus Christ, if you're new to the page, hit that comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. If you want some of this fire content, and come to the page. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, shoot, let's get into it, little bruh. All right. So the title of this episode today is a long anticipated episode for me. It's called Misunderstanding, and it got something to do with my first subject. My normal contestant on the show, of course, Phillip Brooks, aka CM Punk. Now, and it got something to do with, if you've been watching, y'all know what I'm talking about. Or what I normally say, I'll get into how to explain the same thing. But, so, according to Mark Henry, he said CM Punk is misunderstood. Now, I can understand where Mark Henry come from, because some folks can say things, but it come off kind of harsh, kind of assholish. They didn't mean this. They meant what they said, but they didn't mean to say it the way they said. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of folks can take CM Punk, words and misconstrue it, because he's very passionate about the business. He loved the business, and he go about it a different way. And he sees it in a way that other people don't see it, or he just go about it, like I just said, another way. And it might come off like him being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So I got some various situations where he could have been misunderstood, right or wrong. Exhibit A. Of course, I had to start it off with the first situation. Him and my main man, Lucifer. Damn. Now, Vince and CM Punk always had a love relationship. But I think it probably stemmed from, what it really got heated up. Of course, y'all know CM Punk had a big 2011, where he defeated John Cena in his hometown, where Vince tried to, stop the match or whatever, on screen or whatever. But I just think they always had a love-hate relationship out behind the scenes, probably creatively, and promises that wasn't fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So, speeding up to when Punk leaves, 2014, when he finally just let it all out in an interview with his former friend Colt Cabana, which we'll talk about on here. So, Punk felt like the year before, that was his WrestleMania. He should have been in the main event. And, he should have been in the main event. Because he wanted to get better, you know what I'm saying? And make the product go. But instead, they gave it to Rock and John Cena too. Which we already knew that Cena was going to win. And, we was kind of over the Rock Cena fate. Especially after they guaranteed it was a one-time only match. Just to instead get it again, especially after John Cena winning that Royal Rumble, winning right back. And I gotta agree with Punk in this situation. That was his moment. Before the big Roman Reigns title reign, CM Punk for almost 2 years carried the company on his back. Probably led the company in sales, pipe bombs. He done everything for the company. He even wrestled injured after a surgery against Ryback on the episode of Monday Night Raw. He didn't even get a chance to heal. And let's be honest, as much as I love The Rock, I'm a big Rock fan, CM Punk's supposed to win that match in that feud. Or Vince could have booked at WrestleMania, could have been Punk versus Cena versus Rock. Undertaker could have faced it Sheamus or somebody else at WrestleMania. But instead, he gave us he gave us Cena Rock too. And let's be honest, CM Punk and Undertaker was better than Rock and Cena. Because he didn't like how they tried to promote WrestleMania at that time. It's the double main event. It's only one main event. And he wanted that. And he deserved it. But y'all gave it to a guy that's been in Hollywood for 30 years. And they didn't deserve that spot. Then, of course, the next year he got released. He left or whatever. And, of course, he got married to AJ that year. And Vince sent his release papers to his wedding day. Even the devil himself admitted on the Stone Cold podcast that he was wrong for that. So, in that situation, I say people misunderstood him. And he was right. You know what I'm saying? This situation for him and Vince. You know what I'm saying? I've been busting my butt. I wrestled injured for you. And then you put me with a guy who injured me. And I can't get a main event spot. Then, like he said in the interview, he asked, did I get money like Rock, Cena, Taker? That's when Taker was only doing probably one and done and rare appearances in the company. And Brock. So, with that situation, I can see that. Then, of course, speaking of Triple H, they beef started from the night of champion when Triple H so-called came out of retirement and beat him in the match. That kind of killed CM Punk momentum, but CM Punk, CM Punk, of course, gained momentum and went on to larger success. So it was always a love-hate relationship. Even at one point, I think when Punk mentioned in 2006 he got signed or whatever, and he felt like Triple H had asked Vince, like, you sure he a face of the company? You sure you want to sign him? I don't see it, Vince. I mean, even in the promos they had together, it was personal. And of course, Triple H had the infamous promo where, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, "You only care about change and new rules if it benefit you." And of course, if you remember, in 2014, CM Punk was going against him and Daniel Bryan was going against the Authority. Now, original plans was to do Triple H versus CM Punk 2, and Punk was gonna get over and win the championship. But Punk was so frustrated with creative, he just left. You know what I'm saying? And he was happy for Daniel Bryan that got his moment, because he deserved that moment. And then he said, I think in the interview, he said he was still bitter about the Night of Champions. Even I think at SummerSlam in 2011, he did Stephanie when she was trying to shake his hand. And he was like, I know where that hand been at. So, in that situation, I don't know. Now, don't get me wrong, especially with the latest reports and stuff like that. And like I said, Punk can come up as an asshole, and sometimes he might be full of himself. And speaking of that, that leads me to my next situation. The Elite first, of course, the situation with the Elite, where CM Punk had the press conference. He ran those guys. He dished the hell out them guys in front of the owner, Tony Khan. Then, of course, a week or two later, They got the fight in the locker room where people got bit, you know, people girlfriends, dogs, and stuff like that. And it was just traumatizing for the whole company, to the point where the elite was away from the company for about a month or two, month or three, and we haven't seen Punk on TV. We seen Punk on MMA, making appearances at WWE and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because according to Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson, they can't even talk about it to this day. So whatever went down in that locker room and whatever words were said, they can't even talk about it. It was so bad that Jericho don't even like Punk. He hate Punk. Like I say, he hate Punk. He want him gone. And, you know, of course, Chris Jericho being the locker room leader of the company, everybody gonna follow suit. And if Jericho don't like you, and cause this is Jericho, baby, he one of the first stars that put AEW on the map. And of course, him and Jericho supposedly had a sit down talk recently. I guess to hash things out and work it out. You know what I'm saying? So in that situation, I gotta admit, you kind of see CM Punk's true colors. So I ain't gonna say he misunderstood. He was just wrong in that situation. Because you don't run down your VPs in front of the world and stuff like that if y'all ain't had no conversations in the back. And plus, you did it in front of your boss. And your boss didn't say nothing, didn't defend his guys. He just let it slide. All right. And of course, Colt Cabana. In that situation, it's a tough call because these guys was really best friends. Shit, Colt Cabana was there throughout the whole, you know what I'm saying, the years Punk was struggling with his creative juices and whatever his mental health was at the WWE. And they just had all of a sudden a fallout. And they filed lawsuits against each other. And they haven't been good friends since. Now, a lot of people think when CM Punk arrived, because it was at one point we were seeing Colt Cabana on AEW, and then when Punk arrived, we weren't seeing him on there. So everybody felt like he probably got demoted and went to ROH. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Hopefully them guys been in their relationship. And that's a tough situation to call because you never know. Them two guys might be friends again. Right? It might work at work, or just, you know what I'm saying? You know, some stuff you just got to stay out of, you know what I'm saying? Part of as bloggers, co-workers, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they get back cool, like the great 50 Cent said about Birdman and Lil Wayne, if they get back cool, they might not like you. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the love and the history that the guys have. Then, of course, I don't even know about the AJ situation. I just know AJ said it would never happen again. So I don't know if Punk was an asshole towards him during the ROH days, TNA days. But AJ said he would never work with the guy. It would never happen again. So if y'all can put in the comments what happened in that situation, let me know. Then my last situation is the Shield. All three guys don't like him. Especially Moxley, you know what I'm saying, who went on his wife podcast. Said I could expose a whole lot of stuff and get straight into it, especially after CM Punk had ran down Paige, Khan, and him in the Instagram post. And Moxley was so pissed, you could see it in his face. He wanted to go in, but that's beneath him. He's a true professional, and he you know what I'm saying, he wanted to get through it. And of course, y'all know earlier this year, Seth Rollins called him a locker room counselor. Now, Seth Rollins says CM Punk is a cool guy. He just got some stuff that's going on with him. And, of course, Roman Reigns just can't stand him because he thinks CM Punk is full of himself. I think he said in the interview that CM Punk was not the needle mover as The Rock was and John Cena was. So, in those last couple of situations, I don't know, but I can see both sides that he misunderstood. But I can see Punk being full of shit and a jackass. I'm sorry, bruh. It is what it is. Alright. On another subject, let's talk about Booker T versus Triple H in 2003. So, Booker T, who had a ride from Booker T, who was a 5-time WCW champion by 2001, made his debut against Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, especially Vince McMahon had bought the competition back in the spring of 2001. So my boy started making an impact. Of course, y'all know he attacked Austin in King of the Ring. He attacked Austin in the episode of Raw before then when he hit him with the championship belt, and he ran and left. And he was making his rounds of course. And of course, y'all know Austin and Booker T was slick a whole year, even though they joined together for a minute in the invasion. But after the invasion, it was back on, especially when Stone Cold attacked him at a church, and he caught on with him at the store in that great promo. Then, of course, he feuded with a returning Rock at SummerSlam for the WCW Championship. And mentioning that, during that time, my boy was kind of getting disrespected in some of his promos. And, you know, he was going through the usual WWE torture, especially with Vince. You know what I'm saying? You know, he wanted to embarrass his competition and get the final laugh. Like, here we go. Like, on the episode of SmackDown, y'all remember The Rock had returned. Booker T was in the ring talking that junk, talking that trash. And then The Rock came out saying, acting like he didn't know who he was. Who in the blue hell are you? And that was the main reason Sting didn't come to the WWE in 2001. Because he felt like Booker was very talented and he was getting disrespected. And he kind of knew what Vince was trying to do because Vince liked to embarrass his competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, he liked to embarrass folks. It's just what it is. I mean, he tortured JR. I mean, he tortured Paul Heyman. Do I got to go down the list who this man tortured? But y'all get my point. So, of course, by late 02, by 02, my boy started getting his buzz, his shining. By then, he was a household name in the WWE. He's won the tag team championship with Goldust. He had competed in the Elimination Chamber, which of course Shawn Michaels won. He was just over his fish grease. You know what I'm saying? So, but he really became a household name again when in 2003, March of 2003, he won the Battle Royal to face Triple H at WrestleMania. So we're thinking like, oh snap, we could get a good match, something fresh, something new. It was. But there was a lot of KKK shit in there. A lot of racism. You know what I'm saying? And we forget to that. So the promos was intense and offensive at times. Like I said, Vince liked to be disrespectful and, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Triple H didn't write that himself. I'm pretty sure Vince made him say those things. So, very disrespectful at the time, especially, like I just said a minute ago, Vince wanted to disrespect WCW and ECW wrestlers. Like, look at the Undertaker versus Tommy Dreamer promo when I think he made Tommy Dreamer drink his spit or whatever. He just like to dog motherfuckers out. You got to go through it. Then, of course, a prime example, Booker T got disrespected by Triple H. And I just got through watching the promo the other day just to make sure I get the words right. So, March 3rd, 2003. And I quote, Triple H said, somebody like you don't deserve to be world champion. Don't that sound like some back of the bus shit back in the day in Alabama? Somebody like you? Damn, what the hell that supposed to mean, bruh? Alright. Then he told him, you can do your little dance like he in blackface. Tap dance, boy. Damn. Like, come on, bruh. And then he said, with your little nappy hair. Basically, he said, my boy look like Buckwheat from Little Rascals. What the hell is that? Then, of course, Booker being a great talent, he bounced back and stuff like that. And then, basically, like I said, bro, the man said he look like blackface, nappy hair. You might just call that nigga Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. But then, the ultimate insult, and Booker got that lick back in blood. When Booker T when Triple H had just got to washing his hands, grabbed the little paper towel, Booker T popped up in the locker room. He said, go get me a towel. So Booker had enough and hit him with that dough hard as hell. Y'all remember that scene? Boom! Dropped his ass. And Triple H deserved it. Man, you ain't finna be disrespecting me in these promos. Man, I don't give a damn who you is. At the end of the day, I'm a man, bruh. Man, hell no, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what your Booker T said. Hey, bruh, I ain't finna take that disrespect. And have you noticed, ever since that moment on the episode of Raw, Booker T never got disrespected like that on WWE ever again. Not to that point. Not no racist disrespect. He never got disrespected to that point ever again. Then, unfortunately, we had the big match. The wrong man won. As much as I like Triple H, the wrong man won. There was a Booker T moment. There was his shine. But like I said, there was just another way of Vince shoving it in WCW face. I still won. I'm still the king. I'm still the man. But Booker was more over than Triple H. And Booker T should have won that match. Sorry, bruh. It is what it is. But they had, quite a few matches out of it. SummerSlam matches, episode of Raw matches. And they probably got a decent relationship with each other and stuff like that. So, people, grow and, get old and, realize their ways. But Triple H was a piece of shit in that promo, like, doing that feud. I don't give a damn who you is. A person like you and nappy hair and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. You ain't no better than me, nigga. Come on now. If you want respect, you gotta give respect. You know what I'm saying? And Booker want his respect, and that promo, he got the respect for all his peers. Cause if you notice, ain't nobody play with Booker T ever again in any promo. Cause they know Booker about that action. Hell, him and Batista got the fight, and I got an episode talking about that too. What's beef? You know what I'm saying? But you ain't finna disrespect me as no man, bro. This money, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Booker T for bouncing back throughout all the the hurdles he had to go through in the WWE. I mean, he was playing with Goldust with Star Wars sword and Goldust, you know what I'm saying, laying in the bed and all that. Like my boy in his first 2 years went through a lot, and he stuck to the craft. He still stayed a company guy, and he did his thing. Because we know his brother wasn't gonna go for none of that shit. That's probably why they didn't sign Stevie Ray, because they know Stevie Ray ain't with that get along game. But it just show you how great Booker T is, and he prevailed through all them things I said, and all the disrespect, and he's a 2-time Hall of Famer, you hear me? So, shout out to Booker T. Shout out to Booker T on my paper. Okay, we on course, cool. Alright, so blood pressure, y'all. You gotta make sure your health right. You know what I'm saying? Check that blood pressure now. You heard me? A lot of y'all get that right. You feel me? Alright, so another thing I want to talk about. It's gonna be kind of short and brief. I feel like John Cena should have turned heel in either 2011, 2012, 2013. But we all know John do make a wish. He loved the kids. He liked to be PG. And John Cena stuck to his guns. Because it's so crazy. John Cena was a great heel in early 2003. Especially in his big time feuds against Undertaker, where he did the freestyle rap at the grave site? What a grave site where he buried folks. I forget the name of this shit. But he did the freestyle raps. He had the freestyle rap battle with Kurt Angle. And he had he was a good villain when he had the feud with Eddie Guerrero, when he FU on the rim, and they had the great backstage brawl match with all the cars. And then, but over 10 years, he was the face. He was the face of the company, and he stayed a face where it was at one point, fans was getting tired of his act, booing him, you know what I'm saying? Like, booing him all the time. You got fans making signs. And of course, you got the ECW when he fought RVD at One Night Stand, where he threw the t-shirt in the crowd, and the fan threw it back, but giving him the middle finger. But Cena stuck to his guns, and hell, he stuck to his guns so much he was writing bright ass colors. He had some, he had the "He Hate Me" shirt, he had everything, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was times they did tease Cena to be a heel, especially during the Rock feud, and Cena Rock won at WrestleMania because Cena was going at him. It was personal between those two guys, and they was just going at it, and fans were starting to actually turn on Cena. I think Cena was kind of digging a little heel moment for a minute with The Rock, and of course, I think before Roman got hurt, allegedly, John Cena was supposed to join the Authority and turn heel. But it never happened, and John Cena continued to have a luxurious career and still be a face. Now he's one of the top Hollywood actors, and now now he in the Fast and the Furious franchise. And I think Fast 10 is on the way to coming. It's supposed to be coming out. So, but I just wish we would have got another John Cena heel turn. All right, cool. Another subject. My main man, not Vince this time, but this is the good main man. My main man. What happened to Mr. Kennedy, dog? Damn, that boy went from here to NWA. Like he was supposed to be the next big thing, and he was. All right, check it out. My boy debuted in late 2005. Was held even Eddie Guerrero last match, but. When he debuted in 2005, he was facing Jarvis at that point. So I put late 2005, he fought Eddie Guerrero. So y'all know what I mean. But his 2006 year was lit. Alright. So my boy had big feuds with The Undertaker, where they feuded from No Mercy to Armageddon. Where you remember during the feud, I think the microphone, I think it was the No Mercy promo where Undertaker had came out. They were just sitting there talking. The Undertaker had turned his back. Then he did the little magic trick. The microphone exploded. Then, of course, they had, I forgot to put Survivor Series. Then they had the first blood match at Survivor Series where Mr. Kennedy busted his ass open with the microphone. Then, of course, Undertaker gave him the receipt heard around the world at Survivor Series when he caved in that chair on his forehead. We thought Mr. Kennedy was dead. Then they had the big send-off in the last right match where Undertaker got the dub and Mr. Kennedy drove in the back of the car. But you would have thought that was it for my boy Mr. Kennedy. Wrong. Even before then, he beat Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title on an episode of SmackDown. Then, my boy 2007 started. Then, he had big matches that year. Before, I'm going to get to my next point. He had big matches against Matt Hardy, Batista, Finlay, Chris Benoit, and even Rey Mysterio. I think he beat all those guys, matter of fact. Then, of course, after his Undertaker feud, his 2007 started off strong, where he feuded with Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. And, of course, Batista had lost and went on to move on to WrestleMania against The Undertaker. And, of course, Undertaker won that Royal Rumble. But you would have thought it was over. Wrong. That ain't it. My boy then went on to win the Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania in Detroit, where you had the iconic moment where Jeff Hardy had the ladder doing the with the Dookie cornrows, hit Edge, but everybody knocked out. Even that year, he was supposed to win the championship from the world title because Undertaker had got hurt, because he said Undertaker was supposed to have the world championship for a long time, but then all of a sudden he lost the suitcase to Edge. I would have loved to see Kennedy versus the Undertaker for the world championship when he came back. That would have been a great program. But lucky enough, Undertaker versus Edge was a better program. So smart decision by WWE. I could give them their credit and they shine. And of course, he had heat with Randy Orton. Then I forget, before the feuds, he had a big feud against Shawn Michaels in 2007. I love Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. Kennedy, man. It was lit. Then, hold up. Gotta do your research. Then shortly after that, in 2009, he was released from the WWE. Then in 2010, he debuted in 2010, where he became Mr. Anderson. And of course, he had feuds with, Kurt Angle, Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, Sting, even became world champion, even joined Hulk Hogan Immortal. You know what I'm saying? So my boy accomplished a lot. And then just shortly after that, he just disappeared and went to NWA and made a short stint. And now we don't see him on TV no more. Because Mr. Kennedy was at the time, I got to give him his props. As much as I love Batista, Taker, Triple H, Cena, I think he was more over than them guys at times. And I wouldn't be surprised if them guys were jealous of his shine. Because when Mr. Kennedy came out with that microphone, ladies and gentlemen and all that, Mr. Kennedy. Come on, man. Who didn't love it? Like I said, I think they were jealous of him because he was more over than those guys at times. To me, you know what I'm saying? So, My boy was he was a legend. You know what I'm saying? I hope he retired in WWE and get that push. But my boy can go. Because his TNA later runs was kind of trash. It was booty, cold, dookie, slow. Especially when he started wearing pants. It was just like, all right, bro. TNA's time to move on. And like they said, I read the column. It was kind of lackluster. And it was. Even that James Storm feud, it was just like, all right, bro, I don't even care no more. All right. Ooh, screw. All right, guys. Another subject. My dog, DDP. Now, you wonder why I'm talking about DDP when you talking about DDP in another episode. I'm talking about DDP 1997 year. When I feel like before the word People's Champion came out, he was actually the People's Champion in 1997. Especially on the episode of Monday Nitro when everybody thought he would join NWO. Oh, one love, man, NWO. Oh yeah, it's throwing it up, dog. Wrong. Wham. Drop Scott Hall. Fans going crazy. My boy was already gathering steam, but they added fire to the fuel, and it just took off. Especially when he started feuding with Randy Savage in 1997 at Spring Stampede, where I think Arn Anderson told him, he's an agent, he like, Randy want to take the Diamond Cutter. And Diamond Dallas Page couldn't believe it. They had the classic match going back and forth, street brawling, going at it. Then across the world, Diamond Cutter, wham, drop Randy, 1, 2, 3. And it just took off and ain't even looked back since. Then, of course, like I said, the episode, him and Randy Savage was the feud of the year. All their battles was good. Spring Stampede, Great American Bash, and of course the finish off at the Halloween Havoc. Then after the finish off, he got his big payday when he won the WCW United States Championship against Kurt Hennig. And I'm going to be real, and then this might be controversial. In 1997, my boy was top 5 wrestlers over, if not number 1. Well, nah, he could be more often Austin. Here's my guys that was over in 1997. Austin, Hogan, Bret, Diamond Dallas Page, and RVD. Because my guy was much over as those guys was. You know what I'm saying? I just wish he would have feuded with the Hulk Hogan. I feel like, hell, he should have went against Hulk Hogan at Starrcade instead of Sting. Because that match with Hogan and Sting, straight trash. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, my boy went on to become champion in 1999. And won it a couple of more times, and then he moved on to WWE. But I gotta say that for another episode. But in 1997, my boy was over his fish grease. He was much over, like I said, he was much over it, or not on the same level field as Austin, Hogan, Bret, and Rob Van Dam. My boy was either number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4. He was in top 5 as much over wrestlers. No, he wasn't the best talker, but he had a character you can relate to because he spoke from the heart. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my dog, DDP. You hear me? That ain't this go. Alright. Then my last subject. Ah, shit. Brock Lesnar and Cody far from over it. Especially after that great brawling match at Backlash. Where it looked like Cody was finna get that ass whooped. I ain't gonna lie. Brock Lesnar was doing what Brock Lesnar does. Giving him that work. Then, of course, he went for the suplex at one point of the match. Cody ripped off the turnbuckle pad. And, you know, Brock Lesnar doing what he do. He ran to the turnbuckle. Wham! Bust his head. Cody was still getting beat up. Brock Lesnar put him in a Kimura lock. Cody did a cold reverse move. Pin, 1, 2, 3, reversal. You would have think it was one and done. Hell no. What happened on Raw? Cody Rhodes in the WWE World Title picture. Heavyweight title tournament. Cody finna get the dub. Wrong. Big Brock is back. And I ain't talking about Heinrich coming on Michael Cole back. I'm talking about Brock Lesnar is back. Took the smoke. You know what I'm saying? F5 through the table. Even cut a serious promo. When Brock Lesnar said, look at my face. You want to fight? You want to fight? Look at my face. Look at my face, nigga. Brock was mad in the mother. Me and my homie talked that the other day. Look at my face. You want to fight? You want to fight? I ain't gonna lie, dog. They both be having a rematch in Saudi Arabia, but I'm gonna be real with you, little bruh. I think we're gonna see UFC Brock Lesnar like he did John Cena at a Night of Champions. I'm sorry, bruh. One love. But I think they probably gonna drag this out to probably like SummerSlam or something, or another pay-per-view after that. And I think Cody probably gonna face Roman again at SummerSlam, or he probably gonna, move on to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But like Cody said, I like how the story's going. We continue the story. So whoever came up with the idea to continue the story in another way, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see where this go. But hey, y'all, that's it for this episode. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.